George Miller is an Australian film director, screenwriter, producer and former medical doctor. He is best known for his Mad Max franchise, with The Road Warrior and Fury Road being hailed as amongst the greatest action films of all time. Aside from the Mad Max films, Miller has been involved in a wide range of projects. These include the Academy Award-winning Babe and Happy Feet film series. Miller is co-founder of the production houses Kennedy Miller Mitchell, formerly known as Kennedy Miller, and doctor.He Studios. His younger brother Bill Miller and Doug Mitchell have been producers on almost all the films in Miller's late career, since the death of his original producing partner Byron Kennedy. In 2006, Miller won the Academy Award for Best Animated Feature for Happy Feet. He has been nominated for 5 other Academy Awards: Best Original Screenplay in 1992 for Lorenzo's Oil, Best Picture and Best Adapted Screenplay in 1995 for Babe, and Best Picture and Best Director for Fury Road in 2015. Early life. Miller was born in Brisbane, Queensland, to Greek immigrant parents, Dimitri Kastrosios Miller and Angela Balsan. Dimitri was from the Greek island of Kythera, and anglicised his surname from Meliodas to Miller when he emigrated to Australia. The Balsan family were Greek refugees from Anatolia, displaced by the 1923 population exchange. The couple married and settled in Chinchilla and had 4 sons, fraternal twins George and John, Chris and Bill. George attended Ipswich Grammar School and later Sydney Boys High School, then studied medicine at the University of New South Wales with his twin brother John. While in his final year at medical school, George and his younger brother Chris made a 1-minute short film that won them first prize in a student competition. In 1971, George attended a film workshop at Melbourne University where he met fellow student Byron Kennedy, with whom he formed a lasting friendship and production partnership until Kennedy's death in a helicopter crash in 1983. In 1972, Miller completed his residency at Sydney's St Vincent's Hospital, spending his time off crewing on short experimental films. The same year, Miller and Kennedy founded Kennedy Miller Productions. The pair subsequently collaborated on numerous works. After Kennedy died in 1983, Miller kept his name in the company. It was later renamed Kennedy Miller Mitchell in 2009 as a way to recognize producer Doug Mitchell's role in the company. Career. Miller's first work, the short film Violence in Cinema, Part 1, polarized critics, audiences and distributors so much that it was placed in the documentary category at the 1972 Sydney Film Festival due to its matter-of-fact depiction of cinematic violence. In 1979, Miller made his feature-length directorial debut with Mad Max, based on a script written by Miller and James McCausland in 1975. The film was independently financed by Kennedy Miller Productions and went on to become an international success. As a result, the film spawned the Mad Max series with 2 further sequels starring Mel Gibson. Mad Max 2 also released as The Road Warrior and Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. During the time between the second and third Mad Max films, Miller directed a remake of Nightmare at 20,000 Feet as a segment for the anthology film Twilight Zone, the movie. He also co-produced and co-directed many acclaimed mini-series for Australian television, including The Dismissal and The Cowra Breakout. In 1987, Miller directed The Witches of Eastwick, starring Jack Nicholson, Susan Sarandon, Cher and Michelle Pfeiffer. The film, a black comedy, was centered around 3 women whose magical power is released after they meet a millionaire bachelor in a puritanical and wealthy New England town. The Witches of Eastwick proved to be a troubling experience for Miller. "I quit the film twice and Jack held me in there," said Miller. He said, "Just sit down, lose your emotion, and have a look at the work. If you think the work is good, stick with the film." And he was a great man. "I learned more from him than anybody else I think I'd worked for. He was extraordinary." Following The Witches of Eastwick, Miller focused primarily on producing Australian projects. His role as producer of Flirting, Dead Calm and the TV miniseries Bangkok, Hilton and Vietnam, all starring Nicole Kidman, was instrumental in the development of her career. Miller returned to directing with the release of Lorenzo's Oil, which he co-wrote with Nick Enright. In 1993, Miller was hired to direct Contact based on the story by Carl Sagan and Andrew Yan. After working on the film for over a year, Warner Brothers and Miller mutually agreed to part ways, and Robert Zemeckis was eventually brought on to direct. Miller also co-wrote the comedy drama Babe and wrote and directed its sequel Babe, Pig in the City. Miller was also the creator of Happy Feet, a musical epic about the life of penguins in Antarctica. The Warner Brothers produced film was released in November 2006. As well as being a runaway box office success, Happy Feet has also brought Miller his fourth Academy Award nomination, and his first win in the category of Best Animated Feature. In 2007, Miller signed on to direct a Justice League film titled Justice League Mortal. While production was initially held up due to the 2007-08 Writers Guild of America strike, further production delays and the success of The Dark Knight led to Warner Brothers deciding to put the film on hold and pursue different options. In 2011, the Happy Feet sequel Happy Feet 2 was released. The following year, Miller began principal photography on Mad Max: Fury Road, the fourth film in the Mad Max series. After several years of production delays, Fury Road was released on the 15th of May 2015. The film was met with widespread critical acclaim and received 10 Academy Award nominations including Best Picture, while Miller himself was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Director. Dr.D Studios. Dr.D Studios was a Sydney-based digital animation studio founded in mid-2007 as a partnership between Kennedy Miller Mitchell and Omnilab Media. Following the financially unsuccessful release of Happy Feet 2 and the long delay of Mad Max: Fury Road, the studio closed down in 2013. Personal life. Miller was married to actress Sandy Gore. They have a daughter, Augusta. He married film editor Margaret Sixel in 1995. They have 2 sons. The two initially met during the production of Flirting, and Sixel has since worked on all of Miller's directorial efforts in some capacity. Miller is the patron of the Australian Film Institute and the BIF and a co-patron of the Sydney Film Festival. He has said on multiple occasions that the 1940 version of Pinocchio is one of his favorite movies. Filmography. Film Television Awards and Recognition. 1996, appointed an Officer of the Order of Australia. 1999, received an Honorary Doctor of Letters from the University of New South Wales. 2007, received the Queensland, United States Personal Achievement Award at the Queensland Expatriate Awards at the Rainbow Room in New York. 2007, awarded an Honorary Master of Arts degree by the Australian Film, Television and Radio School. 2008, awarded an Honorary Doctorate from the Griffith University. 2009, awarded the French Order of the Arts and Letters. 2010, first non-US filmmaker to be awarded honorary member status among the VES.